El Nino are emerging right now, but if you remember, we were saying the same thing this time last year. So what is different this time? News Channel 3's chief meteorologist Alan Rose has more in his exclusive report.
The bridge is overflowing at De La Venus.
There are some homes in jeopardy because of the mudslide.
El Nino. What does it mean, and could it deliver us the relief we need from our current drought? To find out, we visited the National Weather Service in Oxnard.
The unanimous forecaster consensus right now is that we will have a strong El Nino this winter.
That's different from last year, when forecasters only saw a weak to moderate El Nino.
El Ninos can be dry and don't guarantee anything for us,
which turned out to make our drought even worse. To measure El Nino, we look to the Pacific Ocean. Temperatures near the equator right now are running about 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit above average, strong for a developing El Nino.
This El Nino right now, where it stands, is basically neck and neck for second all-time strongest.
Strong El Ninos bring significant chances for well above average rainfall, like our last strong El Nino nearly 2 decades ago.
So we're going back about 18 years since we've seen this type of warming in the Pacific for an El Nino.
El Ninos happen on average every 2 to 5 years. The condition is a shift in weather patterns that bring large plumes of subtropical moisture up from the tropics. An El Nino doesn't always guarantee a wet winter, but strong ones can deliver significant storms.
There's only been 6 of those since 1950, and almost every one of those has given us above normal rain in Southern California.
Strong El Nino years often increase the frequency of storms. That would be good for us if we get more rain, but what if too much comes at once?
Well, that's a really good question. We want the rain, and we know that past strong El Ninos have given us quite a bit of rain, so even a normal rain year would be a bonus.
The creek level is the same as the street level, which is about 4 foot up on cars. Literally, you can barely find the cars.
There's a local state of emergency has been declared as of 8:30 this morning.
Santa Barbara has a significant flood hazard.
Ed Keller is a professor of environmental geology at UCSB.
We have a long history of flooding through the years.
While Santa Barbara has seen its share of floods, one of the most vulnerable spots along the coast is La Conchita. 10 years ago, homes were buried and people were killed in a huge landslide. But when it happened, Keller says only half of that hillside came down.
I'm worried about La Conchita. If we get a massive amount of rain in one go, it's not really if, it's when it'll happen.
Although the South Coast is vulnerable to flooding and landslides,
This is what you want to see.
Bolt says the ground is more than ready to absorb the rainfall.
The ground will be soaking in that rain and able to take quite a bit before we start to see runoff. And the runoff is what we need to fill up the reservoirs.
And due to climate change, weather extremes are becoming the new norm. There is a chance that we will see more persistent and longer droughts in the future.